Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Pop Pop's Survival World. I'm Pop Pop. Today we're going to have a little bit of a change of pace. And instead of pursuing our trip to the end to meet that dragon and finally kill him, we're going to take care of some business right here at base. One of the things I've been having a little bit of problem with is keeping up with the coal supply. Getting a little tired of going down into the mine and constantly having to search for coal. And also, excuse me, sir. I'm trying to do my intro here. It's also tough to keep up with the iron supply. So I think what we're going to do is work on a couple of farms. First, I'm going to get started on the kelp farm. We have a lot of kelp that we've been using for our bubble elevators, and I think I'm going to put some of that to good use and build a farm. And we'll collect that kelp automatically. We'll put it into a furnace, make some dried kelp out of it, and feed it into an autocrafter and make some dried kelp blocks that we can use for fuel. So that'll keep us out of the mine a little bit. We won't have to constantly worry about resupplying our coal. Okay. You guys. You just standing around? You don't have anything to do? Alright, well I have some things to do. I gotta go clear out of space, see where I'm gonna build this farm. And I have an idea. I think it's gonna be right down here in the corner. Looks almost like the perfect spot. I already have a row of grass. Let's see how many blocks are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's absolutely perfect. Oh, let's get rid of that. And we'll get rid of these. I'm going to want this to be about 1, 2, 3, probably 5 high. So we'll take this all the way to 5. Okay, we're going to need 8 in this direction as well. So there's 1, 2, 3. This would be 4, 5, 6, 7. That will be 8. And put our wall right here. Let's fill in some dirt. And dig this side out 5 high as well. Okay, I think we'll make this a brick wall all the way up. Just like that. We'll do the same on this side. Okay, there's a start. Now, put a row of bricks along the front. Okay, so our glass is going to go on top of the bricks. Our kelp is going to grow on the dirt. And we'll need to take out this row right here for our pistons. It's just like in our sugarcane farm. We're going to have a row of pistons that will activate when the kelp grows and break it off. Okay, we'll put our pistons in. And it looks like the sun's going down, so we better go. We better go take a nap. Okay, sun's up. Guess we can place some observers. Okay, we're gonna want them Be a couple rows above the pistons. Okay, this is our piston. So this is the block behind the piston, and this is where we need to go in. Okay, so I dug some blocks out here. These blocks are going to power my pistons. And right up above is where the observers are going to go. Just like this. Okay. So this is the corner. Now we're going to go around the other side. And we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to start 3 blocks down. 1, 2, 3. This should be the first one. These blocks I think I could put back. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right to there. Okay, so now our area is dug out. We have 2 sections with 8 pistons and 8 observers. So we're almost ready to plant the kelp. We'll put the glass up. We're going to leave that open for now till we get our redstone done in the back. Alright, 2 bricks go in the center. Now we need a hopper. Do we have a hopper? No, we don't. Okay, got some hoppers. I'm going to place one right here, putting into that block. Because right there is where our chest is going to go. Okay, now on top of there we need a slab. So let's get 1 slab. We're going to have to get up a little higher. And our chest should be here. So we'll put that there. That. This, that, and that. And do we have any stairs? No, we're going to have to put some stairs there to make sure we can get that chest open, but we're going to have to block this off because we don't want the water. We don't want the water coming through. Okay, we're putting a line of redstone down on top of these blocks that are going to power the pistons. Now up top, we'll place some blocks, so when the observers fire, they'll power these blocks. And these blocks being powered will power the redstone, and the redstone will fire the pistons. So that should be the only redstone we need for this. We'll do the same over here. And we need our row blocks. Okay, great. Now we can test it out, just to make sure it's going to work. To do that, just place an object on the observer and see if the piston fires. There they go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get a few stairs. We'll close this off. And we'll get a furnace, a couple crafting tables, and set up an auto crafter back here. And then when we're all finished, we'll plant our kelp. I got some stairs. Place one here, one there. That way, our chest opens. Okay, now down here, actually I should leave that there for now. We want one hopper pointing into that block. That's going to take items from our chest. And right down here, we want our furnace. With the hopper pointing down. Okay, that's good. We're going to have to dig down lower. Now, we're going to take our items from here and put them into a crafter. Okay, we're going to need to open this up a little bit because this hallway is going to be blocked off. Okay, what we have here is a redstone torch that's going to lock this hopper. Okay, so when this redstone torch is off, this hopper is going to be free to let items flow into the furnace to be smelted. But when it's on, the items aren't going to be able to come out of the hopper. They're just going to stack up in the hopper, and they'll stack up in this hopper, and then they'll start filling up the chest. Okay, and this is the way I intend to get raw kelp in case I just want to plant, to make bubble elevators or other farms, or maybe for some bone meal. Okay, but when I need the fuel, we turn this off, and our kelp will get smelted. Now underneath of here, we're going to need another hopper. And that's going to need to point down. And that's going to take the items out of the furnace and place them into this auto crafter. Now at the bottom of this auto crafter, we're going to place 2 more chests. Well, if we had 2 more chests, we would place them. So, alright, we're going to need a new way out of here. This obviously isn't going to work. I was going to say, well, maybe it will for now, but I'm not the parkour expert, so hold on. Okay, get out this way. Oh, it's nighttime. I have to go to sleep. What has happened to you? What? Oh, I hope you are not my villagers. I hope all my villagers just didn't get turned into zombies. Oh, I'll be really upset about that. We have to get a golem. Okay, first thing. Let's see if we have any pumpkins. You little... What the heck? What has happened to my village? Is everyone dead? You guys okay? Oh my god. Okay, thank goodness. Thank goodness you guys are all safe. Take a pumpkin. We'll carve it into a jack-o'-lantern, and we'll bring it with us outside. We'll get rid of this rotten flesh. Okay, we got 4 blocks of iron. And let's give him a head. There he is. Oh, he'll help. Hello, guy. We have to find a name for you. Maybe Rusty. Maybe you look like a Rusty to me. Will you keep the villagers safe? Try to keep the zombies out of here, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, do I have everything that I needed? No, I wanted 2 chests. And there we have them. Okay, do your thing, Rusty. Feel free. Make yourself at home. Okay. There's 1 chest. There's another chest. Now. We're going to have to clear out some space behind here. And we have a little bit of space cleared out. What we're going to need is a comparator coming out of this crafting table. Okay, we're going to have that comparator go into some redstone. Okay, now right here, if I can get back there, let's move this torch. Okay, I'm going to place a redstone repeater right there, and then feed it into our crafter. Now over here, we're going to place another comparator. And that's going to be reading this signal out of this other crafter. Now we're going to set this comparator into subtractive mode. Because now what happens is as this crafter fills, it'll output 1 redstone power. So when the whole thing is filled, it will give us a redstone power of 9. And that's when we really want this thing to fire, is when it's totally full. We want it to fire before the 10th item comes in. Okay, so how we're going to do that is we're going to take a signal out of this. We're going to press these buttons. This is going to give us a power output of 6. Okay, so this comparator is going to put out an output of 6. Now since this is in subtractive mode, that means it's not going to put out any output until the power gets over 6. So as our items fill up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first block that's going to give us a redstone power, and it'll give us a redstone power of 1. As the next item goes in, it'll be a redstone power of 2, and this will be a redstone power of 3. And as we get a power 1, this redstone will light. Power 2, this redstone will light. Power 3, this redstone will light. Powering the repeater, which will fire the crafter. And then the items from the crafter will go down into the chest. So, we'll be getting kelp into this chest if our light is on. If our light is off, the items from our hopper will flow down into the furnace and be crafted into dried kelp blocks and placed into this chest. So now all we really have to do is dress this thing up a little bit if we want. We can close off this space. We don't need this walkway anymore. And we need to make ourselves a nice exit out. So I'll get started doing that. Okay, well I have enough glass smelted that we could get started on one side anyway. Okay. We're gonna need. Whoops. We didn't want to do that. We're gonna lose that. Let's use our Silk Touch pickaxe so we don't lose that piece of glass. If you break glass with any other tool, it goes away and you lose it. But if you use your Silk Touch, you get to keep it. Okay, we're gonna go up 4 blocks for now. Okay, we've got this side enclosed, 4 blocks tall. I have a little bit of extra glass, so I could start doing this other side as well. Okay, we're gonna need another row of bricks here. Okay, so we're going to need an infinite water source. Okay, and that's pretty easy. All we have to do is dig out 3 blocks. Take 2 buckets of water. Place one on this side. Let me place one on the other. Now when we have 2 source blocks of water that are running into the same block, that block will also get converted into a source block. So that's now a source block of water. And I could take water from it and it refills. Okay, so if you wanted to make it so you could get the water from any block and not have to be careful to just get it from the center, what you do is you dig out 3 more blocks and you just use 1 more block of water and you place it right here. Now what you have is a pool of water where you can take buckets from any spot and it will constantly refill. So now we're going to need 4 buckets of water. Well, actually we're going to need 8 buckets of water on each side. Now, scaffolding usually I find to be a pain in the butt. Sometimes it's really, really useful, and I'm going to try to make use of it here. See that? Never quite goes where you want it. I'm going to go one more. Just so we can see over the top of this glass. Okay, that should work. Okay, now we're going to have to get up over this glass, so we're going to have to break some of this stone out. Okay, now we need to refill our buckets. And place 4 more. Hey, why is that one not full? What time is it? Oh, we better go to sleep quick. Oh, I see what's going to happen here. This is why scaffolding's a pain. If you have scaffolding underneath and you crouch, you go down. Okay, so there what we have here is 8 source blocks of water. So now what we have to do is we have to go down into the water and plant some kelp. Okay, now that we have kelp growing all the way to the up to the observers are already source blocks. So having the kelp grow into those other blocks of water turns them all into source blocks as well. So now we're going to do a little trick here to create a water flow on top of this water. And how we're going to do that is okay, we place some slabs. So now what we have is a full block of all source blocks of water. So now let's fill our buckets up again. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to place one bucket of water in this corner. And what that's going to do is create a flow of water all the way across to the corner. Now, we could break those slabs. Okay, now we can break that. Now, if we did that correctly, we should still have our source blocks of water. And at the very top, we should have water flowing all the way to the corner. Okay, now we just have to do that on the other side. Okay, we have 8 rows of kelp. Now you notice how that stuff's not floating up. It's just kind of just sitting there. But as soon as one of these pieces of kelp grows, it's going to float up. And you can watch, it's not going to take very long. Piece grew, they float up to the top, and they'll find their way to the corner and go into the hopper. Okay, so now we really do have to dress this up because it is very ugly out here, but we'll fix that. But anyway, we've had the pistons fire a bunch of times. That means some of our kelp should be processing. Oh, now I did. I took out a level of dirt here. Made this a little bit easier to get in. Cleared out some of the hay. And built a bit of a doorway. I filled in the old walkway. We built a new one. It has a pressure plate so the door closes for us automatically. And we dressed it up down here just a little bit. Okay, there's our chest up top. So it was collecting the kelp that broke, and along with some of the bricks and stuff that we dropped. So we're going to have to get that out of here. Okay, so that goes into this hopper, straight into this hopper, and down into the furnace. So you can see, first thing we got waiting in the furnace is a piece of cobblestone. So we'll take that out. And our hopper's going to be locked now because we did lock it. So we can see we got to get those bricks out of there. What else? Okay, so this hopper's empty. This hopper has kelp. Okay, our furnace is empty. And there should be nothing in here. Now you can see we can take the kelp that we can take this fuel, stick it in here. Okay, flip our switch. Immediately the furnace starts to fill with the kelp. The kelp will pile up there and it'll start to burn. As it burns, it'll get dispensed into the crafter. And the crafter's going to fill up the first 6 slots and it's not going to do anything. And then our redstone signal back there. As soon as we get that 7th piece, it's going to light that first piece of redstone. Then the 8th piece will light the 2nd piece of redstone. And then finally the 9th piece will light this piece of redstone, which will fire the repeater and cause the crafter to craft a dried kelp block for us. A dried kelp. Is that what I said? Dried kelp? Dried kelp block. Say that 3 times fast. I'm not going to try. Okay, but anyway, you can see there's our 5th piece. There's our 6th piece. And now we're going to see, well, if we could see back there, we'll see our redstone start to light. we'll be able to see the repeater when it gets to number 9. Okay, there's 7. There's 8. One more piece comes down, and it's going to craft a block for us. There, you can see the repeater fired. The crafter's empty. It's going to start filling all over again. We can look down at our chest, and there's our dried kelp block. And we get a couple dried kelp blocks. We'll stick those in the furnace and replace our coal. Well, unless it actually burns up all our coal. The farm's fully functioning right now. So if we did want to get some kelp, we would just turn this switch so the redstone lights up. It'll lock the hopper, and the hopper will start to fill with the kelp. We can get it from there because we're gonna need some kelp to build more bubble vaders in the future. So yeah. Anyway, that's how this works. Now to get rid of this water source, you can either fill your buckets up. I'm going to fill up at least 2. There's 1. See, I thought I wasn't filling the buckets, but it just replaces the slot with an empty bucket there. I have my 2 buckets of water. Now if you want to get rid of this water here, all you need to do is fill it with dirt. Okay, so there's our kelp farm. I'm going to leave the scaffolding up until I get this roof fixed, and then we'll take a final look. Alrighty then. Okay, well, this is what I ended up with. Oh, what are you doing wandering around? Let's cut the grass. We've got some trim around the outside, a couple of lights. Contoured the top a tiny bit. I don't know if I really like it, but it's good enough for now. You can hear our pistons just fired, and as soon as this piece grows up, they're going to fire again. So we should have been collecting a bunch of kelp while we were building this. Okay, we can come through our doorway. That will close for us automatically. Let's see what's going on in the furnace. Oh, a block of dirt got in there. And we may have clogged the system while we were working. Oh. Okay, I guess we got everything out now. And 3 blocks of kelp. But that's because we were clogged up with dirt. You can't smelt dirt. But while we were working, I guess one of the pieces fell into the water flow and got into the hopper. So that should be taken care of. Anyway, so this room is done. Our auto crafter's doing its job. Alright. Well, one thing's for sure. I don't mind doing a bunch of work if it means I can be lazy later. No more running down into the mine, having to search for coal. Of course, we're going to need coal for our torches, but we won't need nearly as much as we did before. We got the kelp farm done. It's going to make a lot of fuel for us automatically. We're not going to have to do anything at all. So anytime we're hanging around the base, that kelp's going to grow. It's going to get chopped off. It's going to get sucked into the hopper in the corner, into the chest, down into the furnace, where it's going to get smelted and put into the auto crafter. And all we got to do is go down and get it. And we could feed this furnace with it, and we could feed our furnace inside with it. Hope you guys maybe learned something from watching me build this farm. We used the pistons, we used the observers, and we used the auto crafter. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you did, please hit that like button, and hey, stay tuned. Next episode, we're gonna go across the way and get started on an iron farm. Yeah, so we don't have to go mining for that either. Anyway, again, I'm Pop Pop. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.